Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the Geelong versus Western Bulldogs game, going through how Isaac Smith's last game turned out to be, I think, his highest ever scoring fantasy game with a 160. Trelaw, one of my best trade-ins ever, was absolutely nuts. He went for 131, Stewart as well. So this was an all-round really good game for me. I mean, out of the guys that I had, Geelong, Tom Stewart 118, Trelaw 131, Bont 125, English 98, a little bit low. He came alive in the last quarter, and we'll go through that. And then, I mean, I would have had Libba if he didn't get concussed, and he was on 127 as well, so that was a pretty positive trade in as well. So let me just bring it up here. But yeah, before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, as sometimes the timing isn't the same and it's a little bit out of whack just due to other things, other commitments. So turn on the notification bell so you know when I actually upload. And let's get into the recap. So as you can see here, Smith 160. He ended up 1 goal 1, 36 touches, 11 marks, 5 tackles. Huge effort from him. And yeah, just an amazing run of it. And yeah, 47, 28, 47, 38. Just a huge effort. Imagine if he'd done more in the second. He would have ended up with 170, 180, and it would have been ridiculous. But 36 touches alongside 11 marks and 5 tackles. That's 33 plus 20, that's 53. He had 60 non-disposal points and didn't even have a free kick against, so he didn't have any negatives looking at here. So yeah, just a huge effort from him, and what a way to go out. I mean, Geelong ended up losing the game pretty comfortably, but he can hold his head up higher going out. Yeah, just 36 touches, one of his best games to date. Stewart, in the end, if we look here, slowed down a lot in the second half, was on 71. He ended up, if I'm looking here, 118 in the end, and ended up 29 touches, 14 marks. I said in the group chat at about midway through the second quarter that watched Stewart have something like a 130, 140 and 18 mark game. So he ended up a little bit short of that just because the second, in the last quarter he only had 1 mark, and in the second half alone he had 1, 2, 3, only 4 marks. So he was on 10 marks at halftime and then 71. So yeah, he looked all money to get to like a 150. But he got slowed down a little bit as I guess he didn't get those intercepts anymore. They sort of tried to, I think, man him up a little bit more, which he struggles. He obviously struggles when he gets someone trying to actively search him out. So yeah, he just struggled a little bit, but then again, he still did really well. So can't really complain with the 118 when other people had like who went low with the defenders this week. Let me just search this up here. Positions, defender, and then we go prices, 900k plus. There was no one there. 800k last round. You had Brayshaw, Ryan, Will Day, and Wang Dean Malira all struggling in that round. And then the round before, you had all these guys. Short didn't even make a ton. He was on like 40 something at quarter time. So that's a shock. All these guys just, no one did well in defense, it looks like. So there wasn't many defenders I could have actually gotten better than Newman, which is a shock, to be honest, considering that he didn't have the best. Oh, it was I missed the 800k, the start of so it was Scott that I missed. That if Scott had done well in place of Newman, I probably would, and some other stuff, I probably would have jumped up a little bit higher. But I mean, Newman did so well that you can't really complain. And then you got Parfitt here, 115. He tracked really well, slowed down in the last quarter, but ended up with 9 tackles and 26 touches. Dangerfield, 104. He ended up with 18 touches for a 104. That is ridiculous. He ended up with 4 marks and 9 tackles, and it got 1 goal 1 to get to a 104. Meningola, 99 on his last game with 27 touches. Holmes, Bowes. Bowes could be interesting next year. That will be one that we'll have to look at here. Ended up with 25 touches, 8 kicks, 17 handballs, 2 marks, 6 tackles. So just a really clean stat line for him. And Bowes is now going to enter next year. If I look at Bowes, he'll have defender status. He'll be priced at 60. 60 gets him around about 1 second here. What was it? 60 points, 60.7. Let me just quickly do that. Gets him at 537k, so that could be an interesting one to jump on. It'll be basically priced the same as what he is at the moment. So he could be a defender that really profits from the clear out, I guess, of what's going to happen at Geelong. So I think he could be one to really profit. So he's one that probably goes onto the wish list, or the watch list, I should say. Actually, not wish list yet. Dempsey as well. He did really, really well. So he's one to watch as well. I think I jumped a little bit early on Dempsey. In the group chat, I basically said he's one to, I guess, watch when he was on 70 or 65 at halftime or something. If we look here, 22 in the last half, so he was on 62 at halftime. So yeah, pretty good from him. 5 games, 34. Let's look at him last year, 29. So he'll get the 32.8. 32.8 times 0.85 means that he's going to be priced at, if we're using the magic number from last year, 247k as a forward. Don't know, we're gonna have to look over where he was positioned. I'll look at the AFL app to see his heat map. If we look at Dempsey here, because if he's a midfielder, he could be a midfielder. That he could have been playing as a midfielder. Let me look at the team's lineup. This could be interesting because this could be one of the guys that we grab here, because let's look, was he off the bench? He was off the bench, so I wonder where he was actually playing. That'll be interesting, and see his VFL numbers. I'll look at this behind the scenes, because Dempsey could be one to look at. Dempsey could be one to definitely look at, being priced at only averaging 25. He looked good in the last game. We'll get a start. And yeah, so really, really interesting, and a good thing that he didn't blow it out, because if he gets a really good game, goes 120 there, then he starts to get priced at around about 31, 32, and that's 31, 32 isn't the best, because that's, he's already priced at 33, but his average would jump up to around 40, and pricing that at around about 34 isn't the best, because that gets him closer towards that like 300k, and saving that 50k could be huge. So Dempsey is definitely one to look out for. Atkins, Guthrie, Myers, Henry, O'Connor, Stangl, Stanley, Buse, DeConing. Colin Jasney is going to move clubs, so that could open up something, but I don't think it will. Conway, Neal, Nevitt, Mullen, and then Closey. Closey did, how did he do? 1 quarter he went on for, it looks like, and he did alright, but will be priced mid-price next year, so interesting to look at that as well. Trelaw, 131, Libert, 127. These guys were ridiculous output games, and yeah, it'll be interesting next year to see what happens with Bazza Smith, as I don't know if did Smith even play? I don't know if he did. That's a thing. Yeah, I don't see him here, so he didn't play. So it could be interesting with Bazza Smith now that they're in the off season. Is he going to move clubs? Or is Bevo? I think it goes. I think Bevo goes now that they didn't make final. I said all this week that I think Bevo needed to make Final 4 to have a chance at staying in this job. And obviously Western Bulldogs finishing 9th. He has no chance, I don't think. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Bazza Smith and potentially McRae, their roles change dramatically. And with those two being forwards, forward status for next year, that could be huge. Could we have a track McRae, Bazza Smith, Harley Reid, Dempsey, and someone else in the forward line from the start? That could be crazy. And then our forward line looks not even that bad, to be honest. So yeah, something like that could easily happen. Trelaw, 131, Libba, Bontempelli, 125, just did a pretty good game. Probably gets votes for it, but I don't know if he'll get the 3, to be honest. I think Libba or Trelaw could snag it off of him. Lob, 106. English here, 98. He really just struggled from memory to get going in this game until the last quarter. So yeah, he just, if I look it up, in the end he had a 35-point last hit, which included 7 hitouts, but only in the end ended up with 23 hitouts, whereas Lob even had himself 15 hitouts. And if we look at the overall matchup, Conway actually edged him, and Stanley edged Lob in the hitouts category. So Geelong won the hitouts with Conway and Stanley, which is quite crazy, as I wouldn't think that would be the case. Conway's an interesting one as a ruckman, 48. on debut, and will be priced at, I believe he'll be priced around about the what's he going to be priced at, 35, so that's way too high for Conway. I think even if he gets the lone ruck job at Geelong, as I don't think you can have a 35 guy on the bench. I think you can just go for a 200k, especially with there being a couple of good ruckmen in the draft. I mean, if West Coast gets, or if someone gets that, I don't think it's English. I think it's West or something like that. There's a Western Australian at least in the draft that's a leading ruckman that could be, I think, a number one almost immediately. So will be interesting to see how that plays out. And then, so Waitman, West, Richards, Poulter, Norton, Crozier, Daniel, Baker, Dale, Jones, McLean, Keith, Vandermeer. No one else here really actually matters. So that is pretty much the video there. So if I go back to main stream, that is the video. And I'll see you guys in the last recap of today. And we'll get the Sunday games up tomorrow. It is the West Coast versus Adelaide game, in which it was actually a really good game until 3/4 time, in which it was just the tech show after that, as he tried to, I guess, win the Coleman, but he came up a little bit short, needing a couple more goals against West Coast to really give Curnow a difficulty. But yeah, that's the video, and I'll see you guys in that recording. Bye, guys.